Yes, yes, yes. This GGC is going to be very special. Not only is the word for today serenity, but also I was given the message by my intuitive guidance that it is up to me whether I'm going to share this, what I share today, then on YouTube. So, whoever is here right now, you're in the perfect place. For whatever reason that you are here right now watching me, um, it's a good reason. And it will, because that's intention, bring you more serenity. And serenity is that energy that comes with wisdom when you know that you're going to make the wisest and most loving choices. At least that's what I'm defining as serenity right now. And today I woke up at 4 a.m. And I've been waking up at 4 a.m. to the dot for a couple of days now. And every time that happens, and this has happened quite often in my life, I know that I at least am on the brink of something really big happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. And sometimes it can feel, the energy feels rather like being in a Chinese circus for some reason and having all those plates spinning. Do you know that feeling? Anyone here? Do you know that? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and all the thoughts start pouring in. And I believe I am pretty good at disciplining my thoughts and noticing when they go negative and when I go into worry, into my to-do list, so I'm down over rabbit holes, and I reel them back and I start my breath work and I set my intention for the day. So by being so disciplined for such a long time, it's part of my habits. And yet, I could sense that something was going to happen today. And then at some point after my morning walk and my cold plunge, I then go to the moment of getting into my place here in this Lichtwerk. It's my portal. It's my place where I write my posts, where I feel most connected to the energy, and it's outside, right? So I'm sitting there and I open up my emails because it's part of, at some point you've got to go online. So I open up my emails and I get an email from my insurance company that very politely tells me that they are not going to cover the costs for the court case that I have a choice of starting or not. And I had a lot of feelings about that no, for many reasons. And I noticed that I felt really, really sad and disheartened and disappointed because this no was also a no to one of the paths, a choice that I had made where I said, okay, let's try this path to get justice. And justice is a big value for me. So I love seeing justice, and I notice that I get really triggered when I notice injustice. And this is such a great opportunity for me, of course, because all these moments when we have this sort of right happening, it's an opportunity to discover something about yourself. So I tuned into which need was not being met. And it was definitely a need for justice, a need for peace. And it was the realization that although I have really, and people who know me well can attest to this, really tried so hard and I kind of worked every angle in this issue to not only find peace, but to find justice and to find kind of a state of serenity so that I can channel all that wonderful energy that is now unfortunately being channeled into, feelings of grief and anger and right, all that. I could channel it back into my path and where I want to go because that's what I teach. So these opportunities are also moments when I go through my checklist, and we've talked about this checklist, right? What does Joy do in a crisis? And after doing her breath work and her cold plunge and her meditation and journaling on it, tuning in, there usually comes a point when we reach for the girlfriend, right? We reach out to someone, and sometimes that someone just presents herself. And today, one of my best girlfriends, who I've been friends with for over 20 years, she actually decided to walk to this Lichtwerk. She doesn't live far away, but she's never done this before. To walk to this Lichtwerk, to get up early, and we had not arranged this, and to walk to this Lichtwerk to pick me up for a morning walk. And I was so elated to see her because I thought, wow, what a gift. Here's a girlfriend, the sister God is coming right to your door. This is new. No, she's joy. This is new. So we go on our morning walk, and because she's a really dear friend, I share openly. And I share openly, and I say, Anna, and she was like, I get you. I totally feel, and it's not okay. It's not fair. So what are the options? Anyway, so we do our thing, and we really then, after the walk, we sit down, and she steps into a role of a mentor and coach. And I love that about my relationships, especially with my girlfriends, is that we have really clear agreements and we know our roles, right? We can be just silly sisters hanging out. We can be coach and mentor. We can be all different kinds of things for each other. And it's very clear when a role is starting. So she kind of sat down at this Lichtwerk on my place, which was interesting, right? Where I normally sit. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, right? She sat down and then she gave me the wisdom of her heart. And she was like, Joy, I see this like a chess game. I see this like, okay, this is an opportunity where this path hasn't worked. So now you have a choice. So you can again say, am I going to just let go of this all? Am I just gonna give up hope also on that person, someone that I invested so much love into, gave everything I had to just give up and say, okay, go no contact, never ever have anything to do with this person, and say goodbye to that immense also financial investment that I need right now to, or at least I believe I need to be able to get das Lichtwerk and the Joyful Kids and all this work that I'm often doing for nothing. I mean, for no monetary reward out to more people, because that's my big goal, right? I keep tuning in. What is the big vision? The big vision is I reach millions of people to help them help themselves. I can help children. I want to do that. And my heart wants that. And for that, I need to find a way to get what I do out to more people. That's just what it is, right? To have a greater impact. And I was like, okay, but what if this is helping me? What if this is exactly the right thing that needs to happen now to test me? To test me, are you going to just give up on everything, or are you just going to give up on some things? And what I could give up on in that moment was the attachment that that way was going to be the way to find justice. And I'd realized it's obviously not, because I truly believe in the signs of the universe. The right is on my side. It's my legal right that I am just doing my best to claim. If the insurance, for whatever reason, I can now get angry about the insurance and say, whatever, I have the right, whatever reasons they have, if they're not going to do it, maybe that's the sign that that is not the path. Maybe I need to choose a different path. And then I drew a card from an oracle deck. And guess what came? It was a card by, doesn't matter now, and it was called Coming Home. And I was like, coming home? What does that mean? And then the card was all about right now, you might feel you want to stay in your comfort zone. You want to just withdraw, go back home, kind of snuggle in, hide from the world, and all right, go in your cave. But it's actually an opportunity to find a different approach, a new creative strategy to solve this challenge and still go towards the path of my dreams and my goals. Because you see that belief in justice. I do believe in justice. I do believe that the truth always comes out. Sometimes it just takes the time. I believe in karma. I believe that what we sow, we also reap. I do believe that. So I actually only have one choice, because if I believe that, I've got to know that this no is just a different way to me find a new way to get that yes. Because I do believe that the universe is benevolent, that yes is out there. There's an even better way. And as I was talking to my girlfriend, we found that better way. And she said, you know what? What if you send an audio message to this person and just make one last appeal to their heart? And you really go into your emotions without going emotional, But you just get really centered and then you say what needs to be said and you trust that what needs to be said is being said in a way that will be able to touch the other person's heart. What if you could do that? And then I knew that was the solution. And then we talked about it and we kind of back and forth and ping ponged. And I want to do that with you in a moment. I want to do a really good, fun ping pong exercise. It's going to reveal a lot for you. We ping ponged. And then I just knew I could feel in my body. And this is what I want to give to you now is that trust and that knowing is that you can feel it in your body when you have found a solution that just sits right. It might not feel scary. It might feel like, oh my God, it's quite a task. But there's still that feeling of it's aligned, like those puzzle pieces fall in. So I could feel it in my body. This was right. It might take courage, yes. And it might be like part of my pride has to like, but why would I have to do this? Right? Or that I will have to put away. I'll have to put aside my ego and be able to really just speak from my heart and say what needs to be said and record that. So I went to my next portal at this Lichtwerk, and that is the pool area, which is currently also interesting, being drained. For the last 2 days, I have been draining the pool, and it's going super, super slow because I think, hasn't been done for a long time. And there are a lot of leaves in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. And I was standing over this draining pool, and then I anchored myself into mountain pose. That's where your feet and your hips are exactly aligned. I was looking at the Untersberg, that's a real magical mountain. That's my view from this Lichtwerk. And I looked at the mountain and then I called upon my high self, my best guidance, and I said, okay, let's go. And then I took my phone and I recorded this, and this is another tip for you. I recorded it on the app called Otter, like the animal Otter. And it works really great for English audios because it does an automatic transcript. You not only have the audio, but you also have the transcript of what you said, and it's pretty good. So I thought I'm going to record it on here because then I am also going to make sure that I send this message at the perfect time, because how often do we get to do that, right? I want to send it at the perfect time, and I want to listen to that message again and see what I wrote and see what I said. And if it feels still 100%, only then am I going to send it. So I recorded on Asha with still the idea that I might then, I don't know, write it really perfectly, print it out, and then just record it. So I record this message and it took 6 minutes 43. And it was one of those moments, and I have these, because I'm someone who's been channeling, right, for a long time. I know what it feels like when this energy just comes through me and I just say what needs to be said. And I speak without punkt und comma, without, there's no, it just flows, right? So I had, okay, and we're going to record this. And it took 6 minutes 43. And there were a lot of pauses. But because I wasn't committed yet to sending it right away, I just thought I'm going to let those pauses be in this audio. Another tip for you, notice how often we speak without making a pause. So I recorded this with all the pauses, and then I listened to it again. And when I listened to it again, the parts that I liked most were where I said nothing, where I could hear myself breathing and saying things like, it really saddens me. And when I listened to it again, I was like, damn, these are real words from the heart. And then I went and had a massage. And that was another gift because I wasn't actually planning to have a massage. But then my mom called me and said, hey, I have a massage booked this afternoon. I can't go. Do you want to have it? And I was like, yes. So I went and had a massage, and I noticed that my body was incredibly tense. It was as if everything had been re-triggered, I'll call it trauma for now, all those memories, all those moments, everything that I have been through, especially, I could feel. And my massage therapist, Peter, who's also my mom's massage therapist, he was like, wow, you need a time today, right? And I was like, yeah. Could you do something different? I couldn't relax to the touch. And then I looked to to the side and I saw this machine, and he had this machine that does lymph drainage. I used to work with that when I had my beauty studio. I love this thing. They're these glass things with a suction, right? And they pump the lymph, right? And I said, I want that. Can you do that today? Can you just work on my back and just do that? And he did that. And it felt like a past life regression, quantum journey all in one, because I set the intention to just surrender to what is, to find serenity and peace, and to trust that what's happening right now is perfect. It's perfect. It's the best that could happen. And then after that hour of him working on me, I mean, noticing that, my breath was starting to get deeper again. Do you notice that in those moments of emotional turmoil, we usually really flatten our breath? We don't really breathe fully anymore. I noticed that my breath was getting deeper, and then the massage was finished. And then I knew when I needed to send the message. I knew it needed to be sent at 4:44. And then I looked at my watch and it was 4:34. And I was like, this is perfect. So I went home, went back to my portal, got into position, connected to my heart, set an intention. I said, and the intention was, may these words touch this person's heart and allow them to know what is right and to do the right thing. And then I send it out. And now I'm sharing it with you. I don't know why, but maybe this will inspire some of you to, I don't know that I'm not perfect, at least not more perfect than you are. We're all perfectly imperfect. To know that all these things really, I do live this. And I have decided to be even more authentic and to allow myself also moments of vulnerability, even online, although this is our safe place, but it feels vulnerable, right, to share this, because I think that is the only way to go. We have to be even truer to ourselves. We have to be even more courageous in just keep moving, to keep doing step by step, as long as we check in and say, what is the right thing to do right now? What would my heart do? What would Jesus do? I'm asking, what would Dolores Cannon do? I'm asking, what would Lisa Scheik do, our sister goddess who passed? I ask these questions. What would my grandma do? And you get the answers. And I want to encourage you to trust that you also always know what is the right thing to do. And it's also right for you to not give up on what you know is right. Because if we look back in history, I think so much of our serenity and sovereignty as human beings was always challenged and threatened, most in those moments in history when some kind of paradigm, some kind of power became so strong that put people in a state of fear where they were so confused about what's right and so fearful of what would happen if they stood up for what they knew was right, violence, prosecution, whatever, right? That we were silenced. And I know from, I've been doing hypnosis sessions and a lot of work with deep internal work with people from all over the world now for so long. I know what karma and what patterns and what trauma can unfold if we don't address those moments when we could have, if we had just been a little more courageous, stand up for what's right. If we could have, instead of shrinking back, continued to expand, to trust that love wins, to trust that when we're doing what we love and we're sincere, it's going to be okay. And I think right now is one of these portals in time where not only time is moving incredibly fast, that is measurable, but also where the planetary constellations are so unique. And all those predictions and all those foresights and those dreams that I've been having and been getting for at least 13 or actually 15 years now, where so much of that is unfolding. We are in the middle of the shift. And I think we just have to let go of the idea that things are going to get easier then, that it's all going to be fine then. It's fine now. And by connecting with each other and upholding those dreams that every single one of us have, those heart's desires of where we know what we came for in this life. We do know that those are good. That's right. You know what's right for you. And because we're starting to speak honestly about those desires and dreams, at least I am very openly, because we're starting to support each other in achieving those unique desires for each other. We're starting to celebrate an energy of not only achievement, but of advancement with each other. And that gives me not only great hope, it gives me immense joy. So the question that I would like to ask you, two questions. First question, what was the question that you asked yourself when you started awakening? What was the question that you asked yourself that actually triggered that moment of awakening? I thought about that question for myself. You think about it for yourself. And I discovered for me, it was less of a question. It was more of a belief. And the belief, I remember back to teenagehood even. I remember thinking, there must be more than this. There must be more to this. I know there is. And that always had me digging deeper. That had me even start this whole journey of doing all these crazy courses or reading all these thousands of books and having the courage now to talk about this. I mean, just think about it. Even 10 years ago, I remember teaching in China, and you were not allowed to say the words channeling or higher self. You had to kind of circumnavigate those words. You could never say the words X, right? It was real danger that you'd be locked up because you never knew who was listening in the audience. They always had government people listening to. I've seen books being burned, and now we're going to do it different. We're going to come together and share. What was the questions? I'm going to check in the chat because I'm really curious what your question was. So we've got, what's my mission? What am I doing here? Yes. Yeah. Or who am I? I ask that question often. If I asked you now, who are you? What are the three things that would come to mind? Who are you? Let's see what comes through today for me. I am a cosmic being having a human experience that allows me to find grace. Bam, came through. Am I different? What are you? Pure energy, right? These are good questions to ask ourselves and great conversation starters. Great things to talk about with our kids. I'm sure Nicole will say a lot of this, right? Because those are the conversations that I know you have with your children. So let's move on to the next one, right? How can I operate from a position of love rather than fear? Amazing question. I'm a soul that came for a reason. Yes. I am a powerful, loving, eternal creature. Getting goosebumps here. Okay, so keep it going, keep it going. And I'm going to go on to the next thing that I want to share with you. And that is a little game that I did with Grace today. And it ties back into a topic that we've at least talked about at the beginning of the Goddess Circles. You might want to go back into the recordings or, yeah, just stay with me here right now. We talked a lot about power dynamics. And I was quoting a lot of the book Unbound by Kasia Urbaniak. And it's called Unbound, The Woman's Way to Power. Fabulous book. And I was recommended that book by a dear friend of mine, Dave Asprey, while I was in Peru. And he said, Joy, I think you really need to read this book. You're going to love it. So I immediately got it as an Audible. and listened to it on my journey back from Peru, perfect timing, as I was traveling back. And I loved the book so much that I listened to it twice, bought it as a hard copy, read it again, and started sharing in the Goddess Circle what I learned. Because the fascinating things that she's explaining to us there are all about these power dynamics. And she explains because she was at the time when she was doing the training to become a Taoist nun, she was also the highest paying dominatrix of New York City. And she explains in this book what she learned in dungeon and what she learned in the monastery or the nunnery, right? And brings that together in explaining what power actually is. And one of the things that she explains so well there are that power is actually just two different states of power. You can divide power into the state of submissive power and into the state of dominant power. Now, hear me, I did not say domineering power, I said dominant and submissive power. And one of the exercises that she explains so well in this book and in her courses is how to break the freeze. And part of my process this morning was noticing those moments of freeze when stability becomes rigid. That's what feeling stuck actually is. Stability becoming rigid. And I could literally feel it in my body. And a way to break that freeze is the following exercise. Now, when do we encounter these moments of freeze? In a moment of crisis, in a moment of shock, and often in little moments where we would least expect them. For instance, I've had moments like that where I'm in a social setting and someone comes up to me and asks me a highly inappropriate question. And I notice the sort of like that. And then I noticed that there's something in me that used to have the immediate need to give an answer, no matter how inappropriate that question was. And Kasia Urbaniak explains so well that that is just programming. That is programming that especially as women have because we're living in a patriarchy for many different reasons. And this freeze effect has that in moments when it is most important that we can stay in our power, we lose it. That can be when we're applying for a job, when we're asking for a raise, when we should be saying no to the hand that's slipping up our skirt. In those moments when the freeze occurs, we instantly lose the power. And I'm going to share an exercise with you that comes from her that will help you break that programming. So stay with me so that we can really do this together. And the story that she tells so well is that, you know what? This exercise I have done so many times in so many rooms filled with women. And I will explain the whole concept with them first. And then I'll say, we're going to do this exercise. And the exercise goes as follows. I'm going to come up to you in the room, right? I'm going to come up to you now in Zoom. And I am going to ask you a highly inappropriate question. And your job is to not answer the question, but instead ask me a question. Okay, so instead of answering the question, which is our natural kind of, oh yeah, comply, right? We go ahead and we flip it and we ask a question. Why do we want to be able to do that? Because you're switching the power dynamic. When someone comes up in that dominant energy and says something like, I don't know, I played this with Grace. I said, okay, Grace, get ready, get ready. Grace, remember, she's 14. I said, Grace, I'm going to come up to you and I'm going to ask this question. And you may not answer the question. You have to ask me another question. Are you ready? Okay. And I said, Grace, why don't you shave your legs? You know what she said? What kind of question is that? Excellent. She asked another question. And then she played it to me. She said, okay, Mom, I'm going to ask you an inappropriate question. And now you give me an answer. And then we came up with a list of questions that we can ask in those moments. And I would love you to come up with your question when we play this game now, so that you can have your list and so that you are prepared for the next time that you get into a situation like that where you notice the freeze is happening and you instead go out and ask a question. And if I look back at what happened this morning, I broke that freeze that, well, the first time by breathing, the second time by plunging, the third time by walking. But you know, if all that doesn't work, the next one, reaching out, asking my friend, what would you do? Huh? Right? Okay, so here are the answers or the counter questions that Grace and I came up with. Let's say someone comes up and says, when was the last time that you had sex? You could say, are you feeling okay? You could say, why are you interested? You could say, what else would you like help with? You could say, I wonder what made you ask that. You could say, could you repeat that question? You could say, what are you doing right now? Those were the ones Grace and I came up with. I then asked another dear friend of mine, and I loved her answer. She said, she's also a psychologist. She said, have you, in my case, Joy, ever wondered whether you should get a nipple piercing? Okay. What I liked about hers is not only is it a nice, outrageous question that will totally break the pattern, but also that she put my name in there. Really powerful, right? So when you get a real mistress at this, you're able to not only switch the energy, but also really target the energy by speaking their name in that. So you could say, are you feeling okay, Joy? Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that was helpful to you. And I'm seeing the answers. Sandra's saying second question or next question. Next question. Also, really good response. And iPad was sharing, I'm a soul that came for a reason. Yes. Okay. So let's get my beautiful sister goddess Nicole in here. And let's get my beautiful sister goddess Lily in here. Is Yolanda here too? Yes. Do you want to come in? No. Okay, cool. Okay. Unmute yourself, ladies.
Wow, what a talk. I'm blown away and feel so aligned once again. Not wearing the same t-shirt as you do today.
That's right. And jeans, right? Aren't we both wearing jeans?
And no, I'm wearing my comfortable pants.
But they're blue, I've
Um,
noticed. Okay, continue. I'm interrupting you. What did you want to say?
yeah, it's incredible how I had a similar thing on also legal issues which I have never had in my life, and where I have really also a difficult no, no, not a difficult. It's not difficult. A challenge that is very interesting, and where a person who is actually renting his house to me, who was a very dear person, and we had a very good contact, suddenly changed and is accusing me certain things that is only one part of the medal, and I am so challenged in this, and I feel a little bit like this freeze because there is no communication except through a lawyer. And this is for me, this is really tough because that's not my kind of language. I don't like this official stuff and so on. And still at the same time, since I'm not like this, I also notice that it's the right thing to do, to fight for my right and to tell my truth. And even if it's through an experience, to go a legal way and really telling my kind of truth. In this case, it's not a person that I am very close with in that sense, but it's like a person who is really uh, has challenged me a lot.
A
And
good
so
teacher, a good teacher.
a very good teacher, and I see so much alignment in what you are telling here. It's incredible. It's also about this freeze. Yeah, it's very cool to really use a question, even a question that irritates the other person, is so valuable, and to also make a pause and not always answering right away. Also, like just through being silent, also showing the other person who you are, and that you are not only reacting, right? That is very, very cool. Wow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sister Goddess Lily, what have you got to share?
Yeah, your whole beginning, your vulnerability, your your personal expressions. For me, it was more my physical lack of security, my feeling of insecurity. I went to the skin doctor today, so I didn't put any makeup on. And I don't know when was the last time I went outside without putting makeup on, or even I
You look
remember
beautiful.
I remember when when I the 10 years I spent home with my kids, it was such a dilemma. I didn't know should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And mostly I didn't because I was busy with my 5 kids. Then I started working. And then when I was at home on the weekends, it wasn't important. But I don't know, quite a few years ago, I decided I love myself when I look in the mirror when I have got makeup on. And when I don't do that, I feel inadequate, old, and
Hmm.
not good enough. And
Hmm.
today was the first time I went out. I actually went out the door and walked to the doctor and back again without my makeup on. And I haven't done any live videos because I'm not there yet, but I'm here. And your
Wonderful.
whole talk on vulnerability in such a personal way hits me, yeah, on that physical level. It's very fascinating, the parallels there.
Feeling free, yes. We do. What I noticed is when the more often we have that courage to do that, right? To be vulnerable, to be courageous, to just do what we know for us is right, the more we're rewarded. I do see that connecting the dots. And with that, we do gain that personal freedom, that freedom to say, regardless what challenges this life throws before my feet, I got this. And I'm not alone. Because I notice, when we have heart to heart connections with people like we do here, at least I can speak for us three here, right? I feel you across the ethers. And we showed in our intention work, we can so be there for each other and be that listening ear, be that place of safety where we know that we're here to help each other. And that's beautiful. So yeah, thank you, Lily, for having that beautiful courage. You look gorgeous. And I've noticed I have reduced my amount of, I'm wearing makeup right now, totally. I did that. I wanted to get pretty for my date with you girls. And I embrace no makeup 90% of my days. And I've noticed that the more I put love onto my skin itself, rather than the decoration of it, the better I feel in my skin. I've really noticed that. And I was a beautician once. Like, part of me still is that. But really, you can see it in someone's skin, whether they're hydrated, whether they're sleeping enough, whether they're using good stuff, right? I'm a huge fan of face oils. So that's a tip for you, Lily. There is, and I'm also a makeup artist, right? There is an age where us women, honestly, we look better if there's no hard fast rule here, but in principle, where we look better with less makeup, where a little bit of just mascara and some really good face oil, because usually our skin gets drier and then we look a little duller, will really give you that glow and that radiance that actually is beauty. And you will also notice, at least this was my path of, going from being also never without makeup, that used to be me, to being super comfortable being without makeup most of the time, was really noticing that those preconceived judgments that I had, which I was projecting on others. Because I was like, no, I can't go to the grocery store looking like this. Why not? I would, right? We're doing this to ourselves. And
Mm.
when I just, feel good with who I am and I'm clean and I smell good and my hair is kind of okay, I just need a bit of oil in my face and you'll notice you'll start radiating. And that's what people respond to, especially children. In my Joyful Kids yoga classes, that's where I never ever wear makeup. And you know how often the kids come up to me completely unfiltered and said, Joy, you're so beautiful, right? And then, they have no reason to say that to me other than they really think that. And those are the voices you can trust, not that judgmental voice inside saying, oh, I don't know your eyebrows and no, and you're going to do this. No, really, give yourself a 3-day no makeup time. Do it on a weekend. Honestly, you will feel so liberated and then purposefully do something else different too. Like have your hair different. I know some of us have our hair, me not, as you know, but some of us have our hair exactly the same way day in, day out. Maybe two hairstyles, like put it in a thing or have it loose. Do it different. Call the parting on the other side. Start to go on a journey of seeing yourself different. Another exercise you can do is you go in front of the mirror, and we're going to do this together now. We're going to imagine we're in the mirror. And then you look into the mirror, you look into your own eyes, and you say, something I really like about myself is.
I really love my eyes.
Something I really like about myself are my eyes. Yes, you do have beautiful eyes.
But they look better with eye makeup on.
And I sometimes feel they look best with eye makeup on. And dyeing your eyelashes jet black takes that out of it. So what I like doing is I like taking what I have and seeing how I can enhance it. So I use a lot of skin stimulation from hot, cold, from using those little roller pens to microneedle the skin, to the high frequency electricity on my skin, to light therapy, to great oils, to dyeing my eyelashes. I have really white eyelashes. I look really funny without any makeup because I have these very blonde eyelashes. My eyebrows are also super blonde, but my hair is all kinds of different colors. So I usually dye them because I don't want to have to do it every day. Make it easy for yourself. Any feedback from the girls? Which oil, Joy, please? Oh, lots and lots of different ones. I always use organic face products. I always use face products that were not tested on any animals. And I try lots of different things. Currently, I'm trying oils that I can't recommend to you because they're produced in America by a friend of mine, and I like testing new things. And the oil is very expensive, and it's a total nightmare getting it to Europe. So I can't recommend that. Go on a search. See what you intuitively feel connected to. Someone wanted to say something? Okay. So, our intention for today. Let's say we're going to tap on a word and then go right into our intention. So, our intention is serenity, to live and experience serenity at all times, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Do we like that? To love oneself just the way we are. Yes, 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 yes. Put that in our tapping. Okay, so our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently live and experience serenity and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. So once you've written that down for yourself, which I would recommend, we will start with the switch. I love and accept myself, even if I am not living nor experiencing serenity right now. And I love and accept myself when I choose to live and experience serenity now. Mhm. Breathe. Underneath our left arm, left arm. Serenity. I love and accept myself. I love and respect myself with all doubts, with all sense of lack of self-worth and self-confidence and any stories I might be telling myself at my deepest level and from the very first time I felt this way. And I choose now to let go of any lack of self-worth, any lack, and step into my power of believing in myself, of loving myself, and knowing I deserve to live and experience serenity now. Thumbs, serenity. I love and accept and respect myself with all my grief at my deepest level and from the very first time I felt this grief. And I choose now to let go of all and any grief and step into my power of joy and serenity now. And breathe. Underneath our collarbones, tapping the chest bone. I love and accept myself. I love and respect myself with all my fears at my deepest level. And from the very first time I felt these fears, and I choose now to let go of all and any fears and step into my courage of being my most authentic, loving, truthful self and serene. Yes, I am so serene. I can do this. I will do this. And I am doing this now. Breathe. Right side, let's tap our livers. Serenity. I love and accept and respect myself with all and any anger I may have at my deepest level and from the very first time I felt angry. And I choose now to let go of all and any anger and step into my power of peace and serenity now. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I'm calling upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Jophiel. Thank you for cutting all and any karmic links that keep me connected to any pain or injustice or stress or trauma. And now allow me to connect to my highest self, to my golden timeline, to my heart's desires, my highest intelligence, serenity and peace. As I claim my power back, I claim my freedom back, and I connect to the love that I am. And I know and trust this love. And I am ready now to experience and live serenity on all levels in every way and to be happy, healthy, and well. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. And then let's tune into our beautiful hearts. Taking 3 full breaths together. as we drop into the space of our hearts. And from our hearts, we send the following intention. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently live and experience serenity and are happy, healthy, and well in every way. Holding hands. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently live and experience serenity and are happy, healthy, and well in every way. Our intention is that we immediately, completely, and permanently live and experience serenity and are happy, healthy, and well in every way. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently live and experience serenity and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. With your next breath, come back into the here and now and gently rub your hands together, feeling that wonderful energy that you're able to create within your own body. And when we now count from 1 to 3, let's devote that beautiful energy to a part of our body that needs it right now. Okay, and you're going to intuitively just allow your hands to go there. 1, 2, and 3. And place your hands on that part of your body. Allow that energy to melt into that part of your body, nurturing yourself, gifting yourself that serenity, that vibration of peace. Take it out into your auric field, create that bubble of serenity and peace all around you. Take one more breath into your heart, thanking your heart for making this time for yourself. And then in your own time, come back into the here and now with a smile on your face, knowing that you did an amazing job. Maybe stretch out, open up that chest. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Any closing words, my sister goddesses? Thank you, Marianella, for being here too. Thank you. Who do I see? Maria and Sitske and Aurelie and Caroline and Anke. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nicole?
Thank you. It just came to my mind before we started. I did an exercise to loosen up my mouth, like this jaw area, and it has also to do with beauty, Lily. And I was thinking that could be something we can all do this week. It's actually what little children do. It's this because it really it gives a lot of blood flow in your lips, and you don't even have to wear lipstick.
And I'll give you a tip that my midwife told me the first time I gave birth. She said, remember, when you're giving birth and you think it's all getting really sort of, oh my God, keep this relaxed because these lips correspond with those lips. So let it go. Great tip. Lily, any last words from you?
Thank you, thank you, thank you for your honesty, vulnerability, and for being there.
Love you, love you, love you. See you again next week, my darlings. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.